Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is MercyPaul. If you're watching this, I'm so glad that you are, because today I want us to talk about gaslighting, and it will take us all the way back to the black and white films here. So gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation that is used in relationships with the intentions of gaining or maintaining control. Gaslighting happens gradually, and with the time it makes the victim question their own reality, their own sanity, and whom they are as an individual. So we can easily compare it to a heap of sand. When you have a heap of sand and you take a grain from it, it is still a heap of sand. However, if you keep doing this over and over again, at the end of the day, you'll have nothing left. So the term gaslighting came about way back in 1943, 1944. There was a film that was done and it was called Gaslight. In this film, there was a guy who robbed a house with intentions of securing very expensive jewelries. Unfortunately, he killed the owner of the house but was not able to secure the jewelries. So later, years later, he married the niece to the deceased in order to gain access to the house of the deceased to go and try and to secure the jewelries. So when he was marrying this lady, he didn't have good intentions. Actually, he didn't even have any interest other than to gain the access to the deceased house. So they got married and they moved into the deceased house. At first, things were okay because he was love bombing her. I've talked about love bombing in narcissistic relationships. I'll pin down the link so that if you've not watched that video, you can go and watch it. So later, he started hiding things, and he will take things, hide them in her belonging, and question her about them. So she'd be like, no, I have not seen anything and I have not taken anything. But when they do the search, whatever was being, whatever they were looking for will be found in her belongings. So she started questioning herself, am I the one who really hides these things? At first she was very defensive, and she really defended herself. The pattern kept going on. She started believing that indeed she could be having that problem. And another thing he used to do, they used to use this gas fuel light, and he would go on the rooftop or something like that, and he would dim the lights. So, and when she brought it up, he was like, nothing is wrong with the lights, I think you are hallucinating. And she was like, wow, first of all, I think I'm hiding things, and now it's kind of I'm hallucinating. She reached to a point where she felt like it was going insane, and she even used to say it out loud. Gaslighting, there's a lot of deception. They like to question people about things that are out there in the open for you to question your own reality. For instance, you could agree with your partner that they are going to settle the electricity bill. So the lights go off and you're like, hey, I remember you said you were to settle the electricity bill. What happened? They'd be like, hey, no. You're the one actually who said that. And they like to bring something like maybe something you had indeed forgotten in the past. They'll bring it to this scenario and make you feel like just like you had forgotten then, even now you're forgetting. And indeed, it is your fault that you're in the dark because you're the one who forgot to pay the electricity bill. So at first, you'll be very defensive. But this can happen gradually, question you about so many things. At the end of the day, you'll start feeling like you have a bad memory. They'll start making you feel like you cannot really rely on your memory, you cannot rely on yourself. Another way that gaslighting happens is by invalidating one's feeling. They like to make you feel like your feelings are not valid. For instance, you go through your partner's phone and you find something inappropriate, so you come to them and ask them, and the first response they give, why were you going through my phone? Don't you trust me? What have I done to deserve this? They start making you feel like now their feelings matter more than your feelings, and you have to answer these questions instead of them answering your own questions. Instead of them addressing the issue at hand, that there's something inappropriate in your phone, why don't you tell me how? We got here. They'll make you feel like if you go through their phone and find something, then that is your problem. That is a form of gaslighting. That is a form of gaslighting. You're making that person feel like they're not entitled to their feelings, they're not entitled to questioning you. So with gaslighting, they don't let you talk during an argument because they want to maintain total control. These are people that you'll find because you can't agree on anything, you'll have to text them long text messages, and apparently they don't even respond. These are the people who reply with an okay, like the K one, okay, K, These are people that you have to sometimes record a voice message like on WhatsApp, trying to explain to them from where you are coming from, because you feel sometimes like they do all this because they are not understanding, or they do all this because they don't, they're not getting from where it is that you're coming from. But that is not the case. They just want to maintain the control. They don't want you to do any talking, because they want to feel like they are in charge, and these are people who will come to them like you want to talk about something, and they make you feel like whatever you're bringing to the table is not welcome. For instance, if you bring like a project or a plan or something that you want, like maybe the two of you to talk about or agree on, they'll be like, what the hell, how can you even think of something like that? Are you dumb? What is wrong with you? They make you feel like there's nothing you can bring to the table. With gaslighting, there's a lot of isolation and loneliness because they like to isolate their victims, and they do this because it is very easy for a third party to identify that there's something wrong than it is for the victim. So they do this by constantly sometimes calling you out of your name, telling you how stupid and dumb you are, to a point where you start questioning yourself and you feel like you don't want to go out there with people, you don't want to hang out with people, you don't want people to know your weakness, because now you feel like this is your weakness, and I don't want anyone else confirming to you that indeed you're dumb and stupid. So they prefer to just surround yourself with this person, at least who knows you and who knows your weaknesses, than go out there and expose yourself. So you prefer to be around this person. That is a very difficult form of isolation because it is very difficult for one to come out of it. That's why you find people who are in toxic relationships find it very hard to talk about it, because they have been made to feel like it is their fault, whatever is happening is their fault, and they deserve everything that is coming their way. So they feel like me going out there talking to people and explaining my pain and everything, and just prove how damn and stupid I really am, because those people are going to just acknowledge or just stamp whatever it is. Sometimes we see people stuck in toxic relationships, but we are so quick to judge and make conclusions. But I always say that it is good to sit back and if you're able to help, just help, because sometimes people are so stuck in these toxic relationships, they want out but they don't know how. Because for instance, if gaslighting has happened to you, it makes you question your own sanity, your own reality, you lose your confidence, your dignity, and sometimes you feel like you don't even belong, and you feel like even if you go out there with all the weaknesses that you have, apparently they're just weaknesses because you're just okay. It just has been a lot of manipulation, and you feel like if you go out there, they're not even going to find someone who can love and understand you. But in reality, there's nothing wrong, and try to help them out instead of judging them. Try to build their confidence back, try to build them as an individual, because when gaslighting happens to you, and for instance you sink into severe depression, or you have low self-esteem, it's very difficult for one to grow as an individual, for one to expound and for one to grow as an individual. So just help them bring their confidence back, confirm to them that there's nothing wrong. If you find an individual with almost all of these characters, the probability of them being a narcissist is 99%. And I've talked about being in a narcissistic relationships. It's very emotionally draining. So thank you so much guys for watching. Gaslighting is something that we should normalize talking about. It's very severe, and if it happens to you, it leaves one broken into pieces. So if you've liked this video, make sure you subscribe, click on the notification bell so that anytime I upload a video, you'll be notified. Thank you.